That shit kind of hurt my fucking finger, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. That shit kind of hurt. Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of a Thinking Boy podcast. I'm your host, Cesar Perez, with
Niku, a.k.a. DJ GoodFat.
Hell yeah, bro. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you stopping by on this chilly day.
It's cold.
On this cold day. Oh, man.
It's fucking cold.
It's fucking cold, bro. And you know, I don't think we've ever interacted face to face, but I'm pretty sure I've seen you at some shows, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I think I seen you at the Outlaw one when Dip Terror played, and I think Pajama Sam was also there.
Back in July, yeah.
Back in July. That was long ago. I didn't realize it was that long. Holy shit.
I think it was one of the last Fridays of that month, yeah.
That's insane, man. The year's been flying by. How's it been for you? How's this year been for you?
I can't. No complaints, honestly.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, bro. I've also had no complaints other than my finger, because that kind of threw me off, to be honest with you. Damn.
You got like a nail broken, right?
Yeah, my nail totally got like fucked up at work. Yeah, I work at a warehouse, and it totally got ripped off by one of the rollers on the conveyor belts. I was aligning a roller.
Painful. Bro,
yeah. I mean, honestly, the pain wasn't too bad, but the fucking visual of like my fingernail being like off was definitely like, that's pretty gnarly, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, just seeing it, I was like, that don't look right.
Mm-hmm.
That don't look right. And just looking at it when they were working on it, I was like, ugh. That more than the pain. The pain was really just like pressure from like the nerves and stuff.
Yeah, and all your nerves are exposed.
Dude.
All that muscle.
Sleeping yesterday was kind of a bitch, I'm not gonna lie to you. Just like laying down, I was like, what's happening right now?
Oh, those nerves are sensitive.
Bro, I had to keep it like, it's funny because when I was driving home, before I left, the ladies were just like, hey, if you ever feel it like pulsing with the blood pumping, just hold it above your heart. So I was driving one-handed, and I just did this. Every once in a while, I'd just be like scratching my face and like just flipping whatever driver's next to me. And I got a couple honks. So that was pretty interesting. But but other than that, it's been okay. I mean, this year's been all right. It just fucking flew by, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the time has just like flown by.
In ways, yeah.
So tell the people about yourself, bro. I know you're a DJ. What else do you partake in?
Hip hop music, beats, and write the verses, and I rap them. And I've been doing that for 12 years, 13 years.
Damn.
I play a little bit of drums, a little bit of piano. I like to beatbox. I'm not very good, but yeah, I was performing all my music for 7-8 years, and then I unfortunately got a respiratory disease in like 2018 on the tail end in like September, and
oh my God,
that took 8 months or so to run its course. So like I physically couldn't do anything.
Holy
and people were still hitting me up for my music performances and such, but and I couldn't do it and everything. But around that time was when I started kind of messing around with my phone and like chopping and screwing music, right? And
GarageBand, or what were you using?
DJ Pro.
DJ Pro.
Yeah. So I had it from my phone and my iPad, like a cheap ass iPad I got. And around that time, because I couldn't do my original music, I was DJing because, you know, off that it didn't take much to just mix music. And yeah, the whole disease thing is a whole nother story. We can talk about that later. But
I was gonna say that was a crazy bomb you just dropped on me, bro. That was a crazy bomb you just dropped on me.
But it'll be, you know, they'll have time and space to talk about it. But with DJing, I messed around on iPad, and then people are still hitting me up for shows from my music, and I couldn't do it, so I'd offer like, oh, I can DJ in between, you know, because most of the time their hip hop shows are like shows of bands, and so when a band plays and they, you know, stop and are breaking down, the next band's setting up, like there's 15, 20 minutes, time, right? Yeah, a lot of dead time, and a lot of venues will just like, you know, hit a backtrack. But I offered that, and like I think they just wanted me there, which felt nice, and so that was cool to get that experience DJing in front of people. And then that grew into like, you know, people talking about DJing, and then like kept getting gigs, and then I was just like, I kind of actually want to do this. Like, I like to dance, honestly.
I didn't know you were an MC, a master of ceremony. That's pretty cool.
That's me being me, the best that I can be it. And I'm playing a show next Friday at Outlaw.
Outlaw?
Pajama Sam and MUFASA.
Yes, I saw the post.
And this guy, Louis B., who will open for us. So I'm excited to get back into my rap presence, so to speak. So that, I never thought I would be a DJ, and I never thought that it would take up as much of my time as it does. But I'm very grateful to perform music and play dance music. 'Cause I'm obsessed with the way that the drums from a lot of Caribbean, West African, South African genres just kind of blend. And it's fascinating to see, because I feel like a lot of the feeling, at least the mood of the music, is undeniable, and it's something that's being realized.
Do you what would you say would be your first memory when it came to the idea of making music? Like, how old were you like around when you said, I kind of want to start doing this, other than just enjoying it as like a listening experience?
I mean, I was writing lyrics and like poems in high school, and when I was in middle school, like I played tennis growing up, but I was that kid that walked around with the like binder of CDs and had the CD player, and when you go play tennis tournaments, like there's a lot of downtime in between. So I was just listening to music. Like, I know every kid envisions himself as a rock star, right? Like, everyone wants to be famous at some point. And I think with me, I had parents that got divorced when I was like 8. I have an older sister, a younger brother, and it's just like I'm the middle child, so I had a lot of time to myself, right? So it's just like within that, you're discovering about the world around you and the family that you have, but you're also realizing things about yourself. So I just had some teachers in high school that we sometimes would have extra credit for classes, especially in English, for papers, and it would be like write a poem like about this paper we just wrote or like this book we just read. And there are a couple times when I would write poetry that my teacher would like hold me after class and was just like, do you write? Like, are you like a writer? Like, this is cool, this is good, like keep doing it.
Planting the seeds.
Yeah, like I was always into hip hop, I was always into music, like I mentioned, with being that CD binder kid at the tennis tournament. Fucking
I miss like those binders, dude. I miss those binders so much. I used to have like a fucking giant. I remember, you know what I used to like as well? Vehicles that had like the stereo that had like disc changers. They had like 8 CDs you could put in.
6 CD changer. Yeah.
That shit was dope, bro.
Yeah, that shit is funny.
My car has a CD player. My car's kind of older, so I have a CD player. I just haven't bought CDs in forever. I think I have a shitload at my mom's, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and then when MP3 CDs were things.
Oh my god, dude.
70 songs on this CD?
That shit blew my mind, bro. Because I used to I would literally just use like Windows Media Player to burn the CD, and it'd be like 10, 12 max, like nothing crazy. So once I found those, I was just like, god damn. Especially once I switched to like an MP3 or like an iPod, bro, I was going ham with just like illegal music. Just on my phone or on my iPod.
LimeWire, Napster.
MP3 Rocket. Do you remember that one at all? MP3 Rocket. It was like a blue. Yeah, it was like a rocket with like a blue and gray background. Them hoes all fucked my family computer up, to be honest with you.
Me and my brother used Winamp because we liked watching the waves, and it had like different themes and so different skins, right?
Yeah.
Winamp skins.
Oh my god, dude.
We were into that, and I would say, to further along your music question, like it always carried an interest, and then I started like freestyle rapping in high school, and freestyling, like it's fucking hard, but like a lot of people are doing it, right? And I would freestyle about how I didn't know what to freestyle about, and then you just start talking about your life and trying to have one-liners and punchlines and like say some funny shit, say some off-cuff shit, and it just like then I kept meeting more people that were freestyling, and then like I had friends that were musicians, and I would go to their shows, and like there'd be people rapping in you know, on the patio or some shit, or like in the parking lot after the show. So it's like a lot of times I'd join that after, you know, being at the show that is being put on, organized, promoted by musician friends of mine. Mm-hmm. So like I was around it in my late teens and early 20s, and then was just kind of finding where I fit in, I guess. But I had material, like I had been rapping over instrumentals and recording it in high school and shit. Like I was handing out mixtapes, selling mixtapes. Nice, and so I just kind of kept it up. Like I wasn't making the music, right? But I was recording my vocals over beats that I would find, like as any up and coming Houston rapper does at the time, and have been for millennia. But
fuck yeah,
it just grew into playing shows. I was getting booked on shows, and I could play the material, and then that like got me into working with musicians and learning more about music. And it's such a deep world, you're always learning. So I'm still learning. I'm obsessed with everything that has to do with music and what goes into it, and wanting to become better. So it's ongoing, but I started making beats probably like 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago.
4.5 years ago?
Yeah. And started playing drums like 3 years ago, piano like 2 years ago. DJing has been, what, 1.5 years now, 2 years. So it's all like I plan on doing this for a long time. Like I want to be that dude that is 50 years old playing drums in a jazz trio, right?
Oh,
like
man,
I've sat in on outfits and played the swing, right, with a pianist and a upright bassist, and that feel is just like I jazz is a big influence on me.
I love jazz, bro. I remember being like an outlier growing up, especially around here. Like I was listening to like Stan Getz. I was listening to a lot of like
Go from Ipanema, bro.
Chet Baker.
Chet Baker's great.
A lot of jazz.
Evans, Cannonball Adderley, Art Blakely,
oh man,
Hank Jones. Just a lot of pianists. And
dude, there's this
everybody knows like the certain standards, right? But when you get more into minimal jazz and just things that are not so, you know, horn forward, there may be guitar forward or piano forward, but it's just as far as understanding that there's so much freedom within the way that you express yourself through jazz, and that there's no wrong note, there's nothing wrong to play, you just play what you feel. So you can take that philosophy and bring it into your hip-hop, your R&B, your house music, whatever it is that you're making, right? And just know that it's better to play what you want to play. So that's kind of how I approach DJing. It's just I want to play what I want to play, and you have battles, right? Like you play at a bar and people are just like, play Beyonce, play Bad Bunny,
they're always
play Juicy, Notorious B.I.G. I get that shit all the time. So I don't want to be that DJ. I want to be the DJ that you can't approach unless you're just about to fist bump, you know. And that's where some gigs are like that for you. And so that's an approach, and that's something that I'm trying to work towards.
How that was a lot, bro. I was gonna say how. That's insane, bro. The whole jazz thing really, because the creativity of it has always like interested me. The fact that you said it is very experimental, and like it just seems so like free flowing, you know. It just seems very like improv, like improv. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and being able to stick within pentameter, within the swing, right? Mm-hmm. And I think jazz has the most like in terms of how many types of swing there are, and the way that you carry your rhythm of the music. I think that what they say is like, yeah, there's no bound to how to swing. And when you really learn that, if you play instruments, if you play anything, piano, bass, drums, guitar, like the percussion is what's setting the groove, right? And what is swinging. So it's just, you know, how are you swinging?
Yeah, it's just like the rhythmic thing of it. You know what I mean? The rhythm of the of that shit.
Well, I mean, you mentioned improv. Like, jazz is difficult because you have to be able to improvise within a certain swing. So that's tough, because like if you compare that to rap, like people can freestyle over a boom bap beat, but can you freestyle over a trap beat or a grime beat or a drill beat?
It's very
like
different.
It's all, it's all essentially in jazz terms, they're different swings. The drums are played differently. So like, are you versed enough to be able to rap on all that stuff? You know, like can you throw Megan Thee Stallion on everything?
On
like,
everything,
almost, because she's that versed in like understanding the difference in the drums, because that's what's setting the swing, right? And her cadence fits that, like whatever she needs to use. So yeah, I think jazz, because it's been around for so long, has had such an influence on so many genres that it's overlooked in ways, but it's still appreciated. Like, people love, Kendrick Lamar. They love To Pimp a Butterfly.
Yes,
and like that
was
composed by Robert Glasper, who's a jazz musician from Houston. So it's, in terms of influence, like, it's there. So
Terrence Martin as well, no? Wasn't Terrence Martin also
I think so,
producer on there?
I'm sure there's a good handful. I just know Robert Glasper was like the dude. So I love Terrence Martin as well. But yeah, it's people like that are kind of reminding us how important jazz is.
And honestly, a lot of the hip hop I enjoyed growing up was that kind of jazz. Like, A Tribe Called Quest is like a big band that a big rap group that I was really, really into.
I mean, they're a band,
They're a band, yeah, for sure. I was just like, man, these samples they used and the beats, bro. Like, god damn, I just loved it so much. Q-Tip was like, man, I really, really enjoyed his production, bro. Even on his solo stuff, to be honest with you. I feel like people don't really listen to his shit like that, but I really like Q-Tip's like solo stuff. Or when he'd like make an appearance somewhere.
Yeah, no, he's praised. I mean, he's carrying on Tribe. Like, they were playing festivals this year. It's 2022.
Even though like, Phife Dawg had
yeah.
Damn, I did not know that.
I think they added some members. I forget. Someone's hosting him. I feel like DJ Elevated is doing something with, like, they're one of the DJs in Tribe is playing like somewhere soon, close by. I feel like I saw it on Instagram. I could pull out my phone and go and DJ it. Shout out DJ Elevated and Soul Control. Those are the homies, and they're remarkable people and artists, and I'm so happy that they're doing as well as they are. But going back to the jazz stuff and Robert Glasper, what was the second thing you said? I'm sorry.
We were talking about Tribe, and then we were talking about...
I was going to mention Diggable Planets. And I was going to mention that, like, yeah, that's jazzy as fuck. And they're so good. As much as I love Tribe, I love Diggable Planets, I love Jurassic 5. And
do you listen to... you ever heard of a... Gangstar is pretty dope, bro.
DITC Crew.
That's pretty... That's what I'm saying.
Lord Finesse, Big L, Fat Joe.
Big L, dude.
Yeah.
Big L's my shit.
You listen to DITC? They have like 2 albums. Diamond D's in there too. Is a crew from New York City. It's all those guys. It's Fat Joe, Big L, Lord Finesse, Showbiz and AG, Diamond D.
Oh my god!
Like, it's all these rappers from New York. It's New York as fuck. Like, I love everybody. That's why I call it the golden age. Like,
would you say you were more of an East Coast guy when it came to listening to music?
No, because I was in high school when Mike Jones was everywhere. And like, that was, everybody. You got Mike Jones' phone number. You call Mike Jones, 281-330-8004.
I star 67 them, bro, and I got his voicemail. I had his voicemail as a kid. I was just like, "Does Mike Jones leave a message?" I was like, "What?" Because I wanted to try, like, what if I star 67
this
like,
guy? No way, you can call this guy. And like, of course,
who has that number now, dude? I wonder who has that number now, and if it's even like a working number.
That'd be funny. I wonder if it is a working number. But yeah, this voicemail would just be like talking about his mixtape, first round draft picks coming soon, like, all that shit. So I was listening to that in high school, and I really loved the Beastie Boys too. Of course,
man, that's another one too.
Was listening to Dr. Dre, Eminem, Snoop Dogg, Exhibit, like a lot of West Coast stuff. Tupac, Biggie, like I mean, Biggie's East Coast, Tupac was West, like, and Too Short, fucking E40, like, and I was lucky enough to have an older sister that was really into reggaeton, and we would go she would take me on teen night. She would lie to my dad and tell,
oh my God,
tell
teen
him
night.
that they were going. Her and her friend would go to the movies, but they weren't going to the movies. They would go to teen night, and my dad would be like, "No, you can't go to the movies. You have to take Alex with you." And they're just like, "No, we're not gonna take Alex." He's like, "You can't go if you don't take him." And I'll just be like, "I'm down, sure." And then we go, we get in the car. And then they're like doing the thing, changing outfits. Like, "Alex, we're not going to the movies. We're going to a club." I'm just like, "What's that?" And I'm like 13 years old, walking in, dude. And I won't ever forget it. I swear to God, I walk into the Roxy, 13 years old with a middle school ID, and the song is playing is Big Mo, Just a Dog. Just like, I saw a guy mouthing every word. I was at the club, and I remember watching this guy, leaning against the wall on the entrance, mouthing every word. I was just like, "Who is this?" Like, I look at him, I was just like, hands, like, he's like, "Big Mo." I'm just like, "Okay," and then like walk, and I think we went 4 or 5 times that summer. So I got introduced to Southern rap, club music, reggaeton, like stuff was being played when the Roxy was a thing, and so that influenced my taste musically. And yeah, it's just funny.
I was gonna say, so before that, then what would you be listening to, like as a youth, as like a 4 or 5 year old kid?
4 or 5 year old?
Yeah, like what were your parents like playing around the house, or even your sister?
My dad was playing like BB King, Eric Clapton, Supertramps, Fleetwood Mac.
Oh shit,
Persian
Fleetwood Mac.
music. My dad's Persian, so like he would plays just a lot of Persian dance music, classic music, just because music from Iran is not the same as it was before the revolution, pre 1974 or so. And there's a lot of, I have some records, it's like Persian funk, it's like Western influence, like Western influence, like James Brown-esque funky Persian music.
Damn, dude.
But like he was playing a lot of the artists, and he knew some of them personally. I came to know just because I was discovering the music and sharing it with him. But stuff that he would show me was more traditional stuff, like from his time. Like, he was born in the 40s in Iran, so like music from the 50s and 60s, which you can't make anymore over there. Like, it's fucked up.
I was gonna we could get into it later on, because I'm very unaware of what's happening in Iran. But I saw your story about it, trying to like, put people on of like, this is the reality of what's going on.
At least this week.
This week, yeah, unfortunately. But I
mean, I don't have all the information, but in proximity to people with information, and it's just because there's no internet, there's no phone service right now, and so people are. I mean, they're Iranians are engineers too, so like there's apps, like they're inventing apps, creating apps to communicate. I know that they were doing that the last revolution, which was 14 years ago. I shouldn't smile when I say this, but I feel like they, at least from, historical information from my family, is like this is not the first attempt, to overthrow the regime, or let the regime know there's some, unsettledness amongst the people.
The people, yeah.
Yeah, so they just hope, like there's a lot of hope with the elderly, that this youth can, withstand what's being thrown at them by the regime. And so that's kind of where my family is on. My dad's oldest sister, he has 2 sisters and 2 brothers, and they're all kind of around the world, but the one that is outside Tehran is his oldest sister. And so she said that like through WhatsApp or through something that few hours every early afternoon, like the connection works somehow. So it's like that's when they have to schedule like time frames to relay information. And
oh my God,
I learned that, and then I learned that the organizers and protesters are all communicating with handwritten letters with like, be here and when and why and all these things. And it's beautiful to see the like bird's eye composition, but like when you get down to it, it's really just people fighting for their freedom of expression. Like we don't realize how free we actually are in terms of our civil liberties within this country, like having the ability to wear whatever you want, right? Like that's seems like a basic freedom, but in some parts of the world it's
very restrictive.
Like you imagine, if you and I walked to the corner store and like we were stopped by quote unquote morale police, and they were just like questioning us and telling us like, you can't wear that beanie, or you can't wear that jacket, you need to do this, da da da. It's just like the impending upon your civil liberty is very basic in terms of being human and having rights. And so that's why it's like crimes against humanity. Like these regime holders or the people in charge are just fucked up. They're just like, you have to do these things insane, because man. It's right by God. God wants it this way. So it's just using religion to force people to live and act and believe a certain way and not have freedom of choice and freedom of expression with the basic human dignity. So yeah, no, it is. And I know that there's a lot of reports and like people trying to understand what happens in a place like that. So it's just, the thing I saw was the thing about the mass execution that was completely false. And I some people that I like really like and respect were sharing it. And so I just saw that and was just like, y'all gotta like be careful with this, because it's like World War III is like on the cusp, and any little article that's shared like gets people in that mindset. And
it could be considered propaganda almost, it could be considered misinformation, if anything,
Oh, big time. And we live in the age of misinformation, so it's better to present factual information, in my opinion. I need to put my phone on silent.
Go ahead, brother. Yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, I'm trying to stay informed. I love how many people are talking about it, and I love that it's empowering. And I love that, this is like woman run, because women are not treated the same in Iran. Like if a woman wanted to divorce her husband, she has no say, no choice. Like that's how it is. But if a man wants to divorce his wife, like he doesn't even need to tell her. He can just bounce, and then she gets the papers in the mail. Like it's very messed up. It's segregated between men and women. Like they're not legally allowed to attend the same university, and they are not legally allowed to ride the same bus.
That's wild.
So like,
bro.
It is.
That's wild.
And when you ask me like, how's my year going? I'm just like, no complaints, man. Like I'm thankful for where I am and who I'm meeting and what I'm doing and why I'm doing it and where it's taking me and where it could take me and XYZ. Like I'm grateful.
Do you know of any organizations that are like putting in work over there that we could like maybe donate to?
I don't think you have to get permission to go to Iran. So like you can't, even as a reporter like from the BBC, like the government knows that they're there. Like you have to get, it's not usual. It's almost
like Cuba, bro. I'm pretty sure like certain places of Cuba for a while, I don't know how it is now. My cousin actually just visited there. But I remember listening to this podcast, and one of the guests is Cuban, and he wanted to go back to visit his family, and he needed a almost like a media pass to go over there for a couple of days. Yeah. And like as soon as that day was done, he had to get on the plane and get the fuck out of there, bro.
They know where you're staying. They know what it's like. Russia too. Like they know what hotel you're staying at. Like they know how long you're supposed to be there. Yeah. Like it's not easiest to go over there.
That's wild, man. The fact that like certain places of the world are like that, and this has been going on for years. These kind of issues when it comes to like
revolutions, like 74.
As a kid growing up, did you hear any of these stories of the?
No. I mean, I didn't learn my dad's story, because he was in Iran during the revolution, and he tried to escape, and they captured him, and he was held in a house in the countryside for like 2 weeks and was beaten with electrical cables, and he's got photos and shit. He's got scars on his back. It's crazy. And then he and the people that were staying in the house escaped when the guards were asleep and went through the mountains in northwest Iran where they were, and like snuck into Azerbaijan and snuck in and were in the woods for 2 weeks before they found a city to like be able to. I don't know how they did. He's got a story, man.
Built different, bro. Built different.
Yeah, me and my sister have told him he needs to write memoirs and like share this stuff. And he's just, he is who he is. So
he's very like he's not into the sharing the Other than up to you guys, of course, but like we wouldn't be like doing something like this, or
I mean, I don't know, man. I think it's not easy for him to talk about it.
No, I mean, it's traumatic, for sure.
Yeah, and because he's being refreshed of it right now, right? Like, because he's been talking to me a lot this week. But I was a young adult when I learned his story and started to gain perspective.
Did you ever have any issues with feeling almost an anger towards the government in Iran?
I mean,
when like your father's telling you these horror stories.
But I mean, I don't want to repeat shit that he said.
No, I feel you, bro. My bad.
And yeah, I don't. I mean, it's mixed. I don't know. It's not like it is and isn't my place, and it's just it is what it is. Like I can't. Anything I say is not going to change anything. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, hey man, I appreciate you shedding some light on it for the viewers that are like curious about that kind of stuff. Yeah, like our elders, I find like the older I get, we're just built different. When I hear like stories of my like relatives coming over and the shit they had to deal with, and even like my grandparents, like certain things they did, like
where are they from?
They're from Mexico.
From Mexico.
Yeah, they're from Mexico. And like all of them are like just not like they came.
It was your grandparents that came first?
Grandparents came first, and they brought along other kids, and something ended up happening like when I was around, like I'd say like around 2007, where my grandparents had to go back. So they went back like in their 40s or 50s, bro, which is like very like no, like once you're here, you get me? No one wants to go back. There was a situation that happened. They ended up going back, and they ended up coming back over. And the fact that they came over when they were like 40, 50 years old, like then they were like kind of breaking down when they came back. I was just like, dude, like seeing them like slightly thinner from like not eating and shit as a kid, and then like them just telling us like, yeah, we did this and did that. And as a kid, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? You like you did all this stuff to get over here. And as an adult, I'm really just like, yeah, bro, y'all guys are built different. Like you guys are just built different. Like the people back then were just,
life was simpler. You didn't have as many distractions. You were more straightforward. Just
especially when like big decisions, worried,
like you weren't as paranoid. Yeah. Everything's psychological now. Like our minds are puddles, like in terms of the way that media can scramble us, like I feel like it's like a subtlety in ways to potentially develop ADHD or dyslexia or bipolarity within people, to have them feel like they needed to pay attention to so many things at once.
Do you ever
I don't think it's intentional. I just think it's a byproduct.
Would you ever
gotta be careful?
It's hard for me, bro, because like for like photography that I do as well as the podcast, I'm like I have to get on social media like to post and spread the word.
I'm just saying
like,
all kinds of media.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like I can't read the news. Like
I can't either.
I do, but it's like I have to contain how much I engage with, just because there's only so much news that truly impacts my day or is news that I need to be aware of for the coming days.
I find it very depressing, bro. My mom, every time I visit my mom, she's like always has the news on, and I'm like, why are you watching this? And she's like, did you see this kid got kidnapped? Did you see this?
Have you ever heard of YouTube or Twitch?
And I'm just like, why not?
People make a beat, play chess.
I'm just like, Mom, you have my HBO Max. Why aren't you watching The Sopranos right now? Why aren't you watching Curb? Bro, I'm a huge fan of Curb. That's just coming back, by the way, next year. I think around March the season's gonna like be released.
Nathan For You.
Dude, you're
needs to watch that shit.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just so like, dude.
She might not get it though.
Yeah, maybe not. But man, I'm just kind of like,
okay.
I have to like tell her like I don't want to hear about this shit. I'm sorry, mom, but like I don't want to hear about these depressing stories because it brings me down.
I used to do that with both my parents, and I think that because they got it from me and got it from my siblings, that they realized, where they're taking the tone in the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I'm visiting you. You know what I mean? Like I want to talk to you. What's going on with you? And it's immediately like,
yeah, give me that news.
Yeah, like this person got stabbed and this person got. I'm just like, mom, chill.
It's like, what'd you have for lunch today?
Yeah, like tell me about the weather. You know what I mean? Like I find that like a lot of the women in my life are always on point when it comes to the weather, bro. They're just super into it's gonna be cold this day. It's gonna rain tomorrow, and I'm just kind of like, thank you for letting me know that. I had no idea, bro. Because literally when I wake up, I check the weather first thing. And I'm like, it's cold. Or sometimes I don't, and I'm just kind of like, I'm fucking freezing. Like on Monday I was freezing, bro. I didn't have a jacket, and I just was like, whoa, I was late to work, had to run back upstairs, grab a jacket and head out, just because I just don't keep up with any of that shit, bro, to be honest with you. I don't know about you, but I really don't keep up with it.
SpaceCityWeather.com.
Oh shit. Shout out to Space City Weather, dude.
NASA people that have a weather blog.
That's very interesting. That's very interesting, actually.
It's interesting in the way that it's accurate. Like they'll plan out the week and tell you what's coming.
Damn.
And they'll make it kind of charming. It's kind of
the writing's good.
Yeah, and so I appreciate that.
I'll
either look at that or look at my phone. But as a performer, someone who potentially has work jeopardized because of weather, yeah, I try to stay on it.
I get, because I had a client. I was supposed to do a photo shoot, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, and we ended up doing it this past weekend. And she's just like, it's gonna rain like fucking like cats and dogs, and I was just like, really? Did not know that. I was totally able to, like, I'm free tomorrow if you want to do the photo shoot still. Like, we could totally, like, and she's just like, nah, it's going to rain. This day's going to be cloudy. We should shoot at this time. And I'm like, damn, you're fucking kind of putting me on right now.
I took some digital filmmaking courses in high school, and they're talking about, like, the times of day you don't want to shoot outside, like, where the position of the sun, like, really affects the lighting on your model. And
for sure,
like the way you have this set up, like, all that stuff factors in. So that's kind of funny that you mentioned that, but that shit's crucial.
It is very crucial, yeah. And the more photography, because I've been like I'd say 2.5 years into like doing like paid photography gigs. And in the beginning I was just kind of like, whoa, like editing like really sunny ass pictures was like a pain in the ass just because the lighting was just like real blown out. And then like shows, that's one of the reasons why I usually edit in black and white, just because sometimes the lighting can be wacky in certain venues. So I'll be like, let's make it black and white, and I could really play with the lighting better than like if I did it in color, and like now like a certain spot is green and then a certain spot is more well lit. Yeah, it's just more complicated. So I'm like, fuck it, black and white, and I could like do the masking and raise and shit like that. But it's just trial and error, like you said, always learning. I learned is really important.
A long time ago that if you ain't learning, you ain't living,
bruh. For sure. That's a really good quote, because and honestly, man, like I have so many tutorials because I pay for like a bunch of Adobe shit that I should just spend like an hour out of the week or an hour a day.
That's not much time.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the point where because I DJ when I don't want to DJ. You know what I mean? And so it's not that it's not fun. It is very fun. It's just, even when I don't feel like it, I do it, because I'm determined to be good.
Sharpening the sword, as they speak.
Iron sharpens iron.
Yes.
And yeah, you gotta sharpen your sword. Like if that's what I'm doing, and it's a representation of myself, right? So if my name's attached, like I want it to be good, and
you want to put the best version of yourself out there, for sure. I feel that.
Is creative representation, right? So I've just learned, like, DJs that I know, they're just like, yeah, man, I'm practicing 30 minutes every day, or I'm practicing, an hour every other day, or blah blah blah. So it's like, some days I get up, I don't even eat breakfast or anything. I just like turn my shit on and like
go to work,
put headphones on. I'm just like, what do I feel like mixing? And just do it. And then before you know it, 5 minutes goes by, 15 minutes goes by, 20 minutes goes by, and then all of a sudden it's 45 minutes or an hour or something, or you take a break before that, and then and eat.
Yeah, no, definitely, for
coffee,
sure.
have a spliff, and then get back to it. So yeah, it's because there's just so much, but it's, those that manage their time well are the ones that you'll see that kind of stand out in whatever way. Like, I know some great photographers, and I'm not too familiar with your work, but I'll check it out. But like in terms of any craft or industry, I feel like one thing I've learned, another thing that I want to share. I mean, I am sharing it. I'm just, go ahead. Whatever. I feel good, man. This is nice. I appreciate you having me here. Absolutely. Last year I played. Thank you. Last year I played some chef markets with some people that were on the current season of Bravo Top Chef. They had me come out and DJ, and it was really fun. And being around them, you kind of learn a lot of philosophies, like kitchen philosophies, right? And a lot of the things apply to life in general. And one thing they said that stuck with me was, you're only as good as your prep. And I was just like, yeah, that's true. Because like, if I, am needed to cater an event for 75 people, but I'm only prepped to serve 74, that's a problem.
It is a problem.
And so there's a lot of language, right, that people use as philosophical concepts within whichever industry they are creatively, that really help and apply to other areas, just because it's language, right? So you can use it how you see it best fit. But yeah, I've always wanted to get into photography, and I'm fascinated with lighting and light manipulation, and the way that, like James Turrell, like his installations of just pure light and showing you the feeling that these different shades give you. And the James Turrell Sky Space at Rice University is probably one of my most favorite things about Houston.
Yeah.
And I like light. I like manipulation of light.
Have you seen the movie The Revenant with Leonardo DiCaprio? Oh, you should check it out, dude.
The Revenant.
The director is this Mexican filmmaker named Alejandro Inarritu, and he did Birdman. He did Amores Perros. He did a couple like movies like that, but he did one with DiCaprio called The Revenant, and they shot that movie only using natural light. So the production was like months and months long, and I think they shot it in like Alaska or somewhere because it's very cold. Cool. There's like a lot of snow and shit.
Yeah, there's also a lot of light in
Dude,
Alaska.
And if you watch it, man, you're gonna fall in love, because the lighting of that shit is so fucking beautiful, and it's all natural light. There's no light. There's no like not synthetic light. There's no like
studio.
There's no studio lights at all. It's all natural light.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the twilight hour. Big fan of sunsets, sunrises, that gloom.
I love it,
purple,
man.
orange.
Yes.
Shades of everything. It's just color. It's just, natural beauty is a great thing.
Absolutely, man. Other than the, I wanted to mention this earlier when you were talking about being a DJ. When I was like in second grade, we had like a career like photo session where like you get to choose what you want to be. Like growing up, totally chose DJ, dude. Totally had like headphones and like some like random vinyls, and I was just.
Did you do that thing in 5th grade where you took a field trip end of the year to like a mock town, and it was like everyone in your class was like given a job, like you had like the mayor and like the police officer and the.
No, I did not.
Yeah, we did that in 5th grade where we had like we took an end of the year field trip and had a mock town, and it was
holy shit.
There was a cafe, right? There was a bank, there was a police station.
Do you remember what
I was the DJ.
Yeah.
For the radio station.
Oh my god.
And it was because the kid that was supposed to be the DJ for the radio station was sick that day. Like it's not what I originally had been tasked with. But yeah, it was like a half a day, like after lunch. I don't know what the hell it was called or where it was, but all the kids in my class like made up this town, and we like acted out.
Holy shit! What are the odds, huh?
It's kind of funny.
Now you mentioned you were like the radio DJ. Is that something you'd be interested in ever doing, like a radio kind of hourly show. Not on like
I've actually done it before on Local Live Houston. There was an old independent radio station online for a while, and I had an hour or two on there like every Thursday. Yeah, I've done it before. I'm not opposed to it. If it's work, it's work, and that's good work just because it is something that I could excel at. Just because like I love music. I love sharing music. Shout out MUFASA and Zor. His album's fucking great. Shout out PAJAMA Sam. His music is so good. I love those guys. I love performing with them. I'm excited to do. And I would not be opposed to that at all. And
are you 'cause I don't think I've ever seen you DJ, bro. I think when we like on the events, I don't think I've ever seen you DJ. I know I've seen Tima DJ a couple times.
Dusty Tunes.
Yeah, I've seen her DJ a couple times.
Tima's great.
She's fun. And Bad Idea as well. I've seen both of them.
Bad Idea. Yeah, he's great as well. They're homies.
Do you prefer, are you one to like talk? I've always like noticed that certain DJs are like stopping the track, mostly like at bullshit like club.
Talk while they're performing.
Yeah, or just be like,
I mean, it depends
what's
on
going on, guys? Stop it.
I mean, here and there, like, it's not the, I don't mind talking. I do like to say stuff, like sometimes, like hyping people up or just making announcements, is fun. Like, I play recently with Sofrito and DJ Roses and Emily, and MLE. She makes some edits, and this one of these last parties we did at Idle Hands, she was playing her edit, and people were digging it. It's a Dembo edit, and she mixed it, perfectly like she does. And I got on the mic and I turned the fader down. I was like, y'all, this, like, Emily made this. Like, she made the, and people were just like, ah. And she smiled a little bit, and it was like, I'll do that, right? And also, just kind of like tell people, like tell them my name.
DJ GoodFat.
I mean, if I'm at the end of the set, like, I always take a mic with me if I go play places. I mean, at the Flat, I'm at the Flat on Wednesdays. I talk. I was like, shouting out all my Latin peoples, my Caribbean peoples, my African peoples, like my Euro peoples.
Showing love.
Yeah, like my Australian peoples.
I ran into some That's funny you mentioned that. We were at a Turnstile show Saturday, which is fucking insane.
Yeah.
That was fucking, I had a blast, bro. I had a blast. I was moshing. I just had such a blast, bro. I felt so free.
Shout out my Asian peoples too.
Hey, Nikki, shout out to my boy Nikki about a new one.
Korean friends and Vietnamese friends, and Aussies. I come to know some Aussies. I used to work in the specialty coffee industry, and my last job was working for someone who spent 8 years in Australia working in specialty coffee, and
goddamn, that's a long time.
Trade. Yeah, and so I learned a lot of Aussie slang. I love saying heaps.
Heaps?
And it's like, it's like means you have a lot of something. It's like, yo, you got fucking gas, bro. It's like, I got heaps, man.
I got heaps of
like,
it.
All right, like,
that's pretty good, bro.
I like that. I like using that. And apparently you call everybody mate, but if somebody's like your real mate, like your dude, your bro, your friend, brother, whatever, you like talk shit to them.
Oh.
Like when they're coming, like say you're with a homie and like one of your like other homies is coming, just like, look at this fucking guy right here.
Is it cunt? Do they throw cunt around?
Probably. Like, look at this fucking smelly kangaroo ass. Like,
oh my god.
And then they give each other so much shit. That's what I'm used to too. I'm used to like, because my dad's friends give each other shit all the time. And I was having lunch earlier with Malcolm Bravo. Shout out.
Hey, shout out to Malcolm. I haven't heard that name in a long time. Shout out to him.
Yeah, he's great man. He's on to good things. And we were talking about, I was telling him, like, in Persian culture, like a lot of them, my mom would say it too, even though my mom's not Persian, but it'd be like men would be like arguing at lunchtime and then sharing tea or cocktails at 5 p.m. So it's like they wouldn't consider you a friend if they couldn't do that. So it's just being able to manage your like
your emotions,
but your resolutions, right? Like, what am I conflict resolution, like conflict, am I resolution oriented in terms of like, if I'm talking about something, am I here to understand you? Because I don't want to fight with you, but like if you say some stuff that's not true, like I'm gonna question you about it, kind of thing. Because I'm just doing that in order to understand you and see how many. It's not necessarily how many ways can you say what you're saying. It's just like, what are you really trying to say? And if I agree with it, cool. But if I don't, like, let me pick your brain more to understand
where you're coming from.
What the hell are you saying? And they are very passionate. Like I feel, because there's no adjectives in Farsi. It's all just like inflection in the voice of how you say something. So it's kind of like why the I guess the passion is seen.
I feel you on that. I always say that some of my best friends I've like argued with like until 2-3 in the morning, just after like either like after a show, going out to eat, after a movie. Always just arguing, whether it be over a movie or over a certain point they have. And at the end of it, we're just cool as fuck. We're like, it's all good, you know what I mean? Like it's just getting those, expressing yourself,
and air it out.
For sure, yeah. I feel like those are like, if we can't do that, then like, are we really that close? You know, if you like take it to heart,
we can do that and resolve it, and just know that, like, not with me personally, like I'm not trying to get a rise out of people, because I don't care to. Like if people ask me something, I'm gonna be honest, and sometimes that pisses people off. I'm
the same way. I'm very honest, especially at work, bro. Like, if I have a problem with somebody... Let me explain myself, right? Bro, if I have a problem with somebody, I will tell them directly, dude.
Yeah, well, back when I had a job, I just stopped. I stopped giving myself up and telling, because it just gets me into trouble.
It's gotten me into trouble, for sure. Like, if I feel like the vibe is weird, I will ask the person during break, like, oh, are we good? Like, is everything square? And if they say yes, then I'm like, all right, well, as far as I'm concerned, we are good. And if there's a problem in the future, I asked you right now and you said no. So, and it's no for me. But if it goes down to like you, like not plotting, but like you trying to like get me in trouble, or you trying to like put my name out there, I'm gonna be like, well, what the fuck? I just asked you like if we had a problem and you said no. So I took you as like no. And I've had that happen a couple of times at work. Or I'll just go directly at them and be like, are we, like, what the fuck is up? Like, everything okay? And some people like that. Some people don't like that. But I think that just goes back to my honesty. I'm like you. I don't really like lying. I don't find the need for it. Especially as I get older. I'm just kind of like, it makes me feel bad. You know what I mean? Even if it's a white lie. Even if it's a white lie, I'm like, bro. Like
there's another thing I learned in life is like, if it don't feel right, it ain't right.
Hey man, sometimes you gotta trust that gut, you know what I mean?
Lying doesn't feel good.
Yeah,
like you might, like that's a whole spectrum, that's a whole nother conversation, but yeah, of course it doesn't feel good, even
to strangers sometimes, you know.
I will lie to strangers.
Yeah,
I don't give a fuck. That's different. That's like, if I'm out or if someone asks me some bullshit, especially with being in DJing and music, a lot of people just don't know how it is, and so they'll ask you stuff, like random people, not people like you, like people that approach you, and it's just a lot of times I just I'll just agree
smile
with them,
like
or just like tell a half truth, or like it's just so I don't have to
keep interacting with them, bro.
Well, or I mean, I don't. It's more using my breath, because I don't air my energy. Like a lot of times I don't have energy to explain things. Like with my name is Niku and my first name is Alex. Niku is my last name, and there was a long time people like, yo, what's up, man, what's your name? I'm like, Niku. Like, oh cool, what's that? And it's like, and then it gets in this conversation, and so after a while it's just like, yo, what's up, man, what's your name? I'm like, Alex. just to like get it, and they're just like, okay, nice to meet you, Alex, and like nothing else. I'm like, cool, I don't have to fucking talk about myself.
It doesn't snowball. Like, it doesn't snowball anymore.
Yeah, because it's just it would always, anytime, and I was tired of that energy. It's just like, I don't need to explain myself. If you see me performing and hear me on the mic, yo, Niku, this, da da da, and you meet me that way, there's Niku, and then there's me on stage for 20 minutes expressing it. But if you just meet me as some guy at the bar, like I'm a friend of a friend or I'm whoever, like, yeah, it's just Alex. What's up? You know?
Short and sweet.
You remember that, and then you don't ask questions like, what does that mean? It's like,
Alex is Alex.
Where's that from?
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's just...
That's smart, bro.
That's what
honestly.
I mean.
Now, let's say you're ordering a coffee. You giving them Nico or you giving them Alex? Alexander?
Yeah. If it's an order, like fucking whatever food or coffee, I say Alexander.
Nice.
Unless they know me, because I did spend a fair amount of time in the coffee industry, so there are places that I won't name that just give me drinks.
Nice, dude. Hey,
they know me by name, but they don't say it.
Life is about networking sometimes, bro. I always find that. Yeah.
No,
like the older I get, like
you are your network. Like it's important to know how to get along with people.
Shit, even you, dude. Like I think I know you through like Nikki as well as. Do you know who Nikki is? Nikki Paradawan?
Yeah. I've formally met him. We have a lot of mutual friends. Mm-hmm. He's a very talented dude, great guy. And I think he's playing with MUFASA next week.
I believe so. Or I think tonight, to be honest with you, bro.
Play a show with them. I met him last year at Cool Heads with a show I think that he threw with Uncle Tino and Pajama Sam played. That's why I went, because Pajama is the homie. Like that dude, love that guy. He's like a younger brother than me. I've watched him come up and I love everything he does. I respect the hell out of him.
He's amazing, man. Having him on was like really special to me. Bro, he showed up in like a cow suit. He totally had like a cow like onesie on.
It's pajama. It's a pajama.
He's I'm out here, man. And I'm like, and I saw him because he was far as fuck, bro.
Cozy.
Bro, he was cozy.
That's the vibe. It's been my vibe.
Is that Pajama Sam? I don't even know why I questioned it. I don't even know why I questioned it. I was like, is that Pajama Sam? And he's like, and I'm like, oh shit. And like he totally came, and he's a real dope dude. Even picking his brain a little bit, I was like, man, he's a really interesting guy.
Yes, very creative. So he played a show last year at Cool Heads, and I think it was Dende was there. So it was Dende, Uncle Tino, and Pajama, and there were like two other singers that were so good, and Nikki played guitar for like everybody. I was just so impressed, and
it was hot as fuck that day too, bro.
Yeah, it was in the summer. I'm happy that Sam got me out there, or that he played a show there, and I saw him post about it so I could get out there, because I'm just so happy to see like talented people in Houston doing their damn thing, and a lot of it has to be done DIY, and then you can, hopefully get to a certain point where you can tour or you can move.
Yeah, for sure.
Fucking Houston, it's not there for us, right? So you have to create it yourself, and then it helps to create with other people. But there's, they come and go, just because like anyone can, if you have an original enough of a sound and you work hard enough, you can really get to places that you didn't expect. And like I say that from experience, just within music, and also DJing. Like I'd never thought I would be doing this. And that's awesome to come to know Nikki and the Diptera people and be playing a show with them next week. So you said you found out about me that way?
I believe so. I believe him or maybe Frank. I have to look at our mutual followers, but I know a lot of people.
Frank is a bad idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And I seen you. Like I said, I remember seeing you when I saw like your page, and I saw like regular photos of you and not like posters and shit. I was like, I recognize this guy for sure. And I'm pretty sure I have photos of you like in the background, like looming. So I think, like looming around. So I'm just kind of like, I know this guy. So again, networking, bro. Like a friend of a friend. Like that's just how I found a lot of my guests, to be honest with you. Nikki has helped me like have some real like nice people on. I've had Dusty Toombs on. I need to have Frank on, to be honest with you. He's the one I'll probably like have like within the coming weeks. But MUFASA, Pajama Sam, who was great. Like just through him, he's opened this whole spectrum, as well as like not just podcast guests, but like photography wise and stuff like that. Me like taking pictures of them and posting it, going to shows and shit.
You mostly have musicians on?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think a good, like, if I had to break it down, bro, it'd probably be like 60 to 70% musicians, and that 40% would be like friends that I've had on, like friends that I've known forever that I just want to have them on.
Shout out. Speaking of Frank, make sure people check out Bad Ideas Music.
Hey,
Bad Dot Idea, and then also Tima.
Idea.
Make sure somehow either people check out or go to a show for Juicebox.
Oh,
she's in a band that I think they're a hardcore band, and they fucking throw down.
Hell yeah, bro.
So everybody check it out. Go see
check
live
out,
music.
Man. You had mentioned, I don't know how much you want to get into this, but you had mentioned you had a respiratory illness.
Yeah, I had pertussis.
Are you okay with talking about that at all, or would you rather?
I mean, yeah, it just, I was working in a bar as a barback part-time in Midtown. I was living in Third Ward, and I was like still kind of playing shows. I remember the night like crazy. I actually was opening up for some YouTube rapper at the Secret Group, and I played a 40-minute set, and I felt so good about it. But towards the end, I just felt like this, like I don't know how to describe it aside from like I could just feel like something was coming. Like I was gonna vomit, or I was about to, like, I don't know. And I just quickly packed up all my gear from the stage. Like this was a rap set. And then I got all my shit into the green room. I'm very fortunate that no one was in the green room at the time, because I just went to the trash can and just, started vomiting like uncontrollably. And then I like did one of those things when you lay backwards and kind of fall back onto your bed after like a long day at work. I did one of those onto the couch, and I remember exclaiming just like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Because I hadn't eaten it wasn't food poisoning. I hadn't really eaten anything foul. I didn't have any alcohol. And I was just like, what is happening? And the next day I went to a clinic, and I got a doctor to see me. He couldn't figure out what was going on with me. And he was hearing me cough, and it's like the cough where you're like the
wheezing almost.
Like my throat would close. And I have allergies like pretty bad, so my nose is congested like all the fucking time almost. So like there are times where I couldn't get oxygen to myself through my nose or my mouth. I couldn't breathe. So like I finally went to an allergy specialist and like an asthma professional or somebody, and I got recommended to her. It was like the following day, just because it was urgent. And then she took blood tests, and she was like, I need to hear you cough. And then she waited, and like it triggered a cough, and she was like, after hearing that, like, I'm pretty sure you have pertussis, like the whooping cough, which was like an age-old, like Renaissance era respiratory disease that was apparently like not in circulation for a long time. And then because of fucking climate change, they were saying that there was like bacteria that was kept in certain ice caps in Europe and like Norway and shit, and it was like being re-released into the atmosphere, and the cases of pertussis had rose like 35% or something that year. God. It was the year that there was like the immigrant caravan coming up from the Central and South America, and they're bringing diseases into the States, and one of them that they listed was pertussis, and they did that because they had the stats that disease had rose.
The 30%.
And it was because it was climate change, not because of the immigration caravan. So it was that year, and then they got the blood test back, and I had pertussis. I was prescribed 7 different medications like steroids and stuff to take before I ate, after I ate, because I had what was called a coughing spell, which was that, and I had to wear a mask. Like anytime I would change rooms or go from inside to outside and experience a subtle difference in atmospheric pressure, it would trigger a coughing spell, and I would cough for like 10-12 minutes straight until I vomited, like if I had anything in my stomach.
Holy
and
shit.
Then my throat would close up and it would feel like someone was choking me, and then I couldn't breathe through my nose because, again, of congestion. And this was this time of year 3 years ago, and tail end of 2018 into 19. So it was cold, and like I had roommates, and I'm not even kidding, like, if I have a coughing spell and I go into the bathroom, I'm leaving the door unlocked, because like people have died from this, from not being able to breathe and passing out, fainting, hitting their head on the fucking
Jesus
toilet
Christ.
or countertop or whatever. So it was really scary, and I got really depressed, and I gained a bunch of weight, and I couldn't exercise. Back then I didn't have a car. I was a cyclist for 11 years, and that was during that time, so I couldn't even ride my fucking bike. Like I couldn't work. I was on disability. It was terrible. Like I was horrible, immobilized. So I had to be very cautious for 6 months, and then I think the last 2 months, last 2.5 was like the third stage. It was like 3 stages, and it was the least intense stage, and so it was like my spells weren't as frequent, and I could eat more, so it was just a lot. But yeah, that I feel it was like a necessary evil, because this older Mexican lady that knew me kind of joked and said that I was like living life too fast. And it's kind of funny, because I am grateful for that, honestly, because it really slowed my life down and made me appreciate, the things that I'd have and the people in my life. And I'm thankful for those that were there for me during those times. And yeah, not many people know, because I posted on Facebook when I had a Facebook, and then I was like, if y'all want to reach out to me, like, my number, you have my email, blah, blah, blah. And I deleted my Facebook. I had like the max amount of friends, and I deleted my Instagram, and I probably had, I don't know, 1,300, 1,400 followers, whatever. Deleted both my Facebook and Instagram, and like went off the web because I was diseased. And there were only like a handful of people that reached out to me. And there's only a handful of people that have known or know this since then. Since post-pandemic, because like
I was gonna mention
before, like I was better that summer, the summer of 2019.
So right before
that, and then the fucking pandemic happened, and during 2020 I got COVID twice.
I was gonna ask you, when you start hearing about this kind of shit, that there's a airborne illness.
Yeah.
Do you have any anxiety at all when you
I have anxiety all the time, but yeah, no, I was scared, just like everyone was fucking scared in like that year, March, and that whole month. Like, yeah, I had paranoia and anxiety, and I don't know. So it's just like
there was a lot of no one knew.
Yeah. So I'm not cool not knowing.
Yeah, for sure, bro. And it was changing on the daily,
Yeah. So yeah, and then that was the whole thing. But I'm grateful for the time. Like, it just, I'm happy to not have passed away. I'm thankful to be alive. I'm happy no accidents happened, and I'm happy that I was able to push through, just because I'm determined to, travel the world and play music. And that's in my head, and I know it's happening on a small scale, and it's just like, it's only going to go as far as I let it, in terms of the work that I put in and trying to be good. I just want to do good stuff. Like, that's it, really. So yeah, I'm all in all just thankful.
Hell yeah, man. I mean, I'd imagine so. It sounds like you went through a very, very tough, difficult time, and a lonely time.
Yeah, I don't know about whoever has had near-death experiences, but it just does something to you.
It gives you a new lease on life, from what I've heard. It gives people a new perspective, like you said, that, well, like the lady said, that you were moving too fast, to slow the shit down. And I was going to ask you had mentioned earlier about not wanting to waste your energy, explaining on certain things. Do you think any of that comes because you dealt with that illness, that you're kind of like
a very
more
good question? And probably yes, because I was taking steroids. Like, I didn't have any energy. I was so weak from being sick that the steroids made me feel strong, gave me strength. So yeah, I was definitely becoming very thoughtful with how I spent my energy.
Because you come across as a calm guy, just the hour that we spend with each other. You seem very calm.
I can turn it up.
Very chill. And I'd like to consider myself chill as well, especially like amongst other people. Like, very few people have seen me freak the fuck out.
Yeah, you remind me, what you're saying reminds me of good old buddy Nathan, Mystic Styles, who's thrown some shows.
Oh shit, shout out.
Jetty. we used to work together downtown years ago, and he would always be like, what do you mean? I'm a cool, chill guy. And he was being sarcastic, you know, but it was one of those things that said enough times that it's just like, it's an inside joke. But I hear people say that all the time, and it's just funny.
It is.
So it reminds me of that. It's just like, I'm a cool, chill guy.
I'm cool as a cucumber. But yeah. I do try to be very, I don't know if it's like me smoking weed as well, but I'm very like mellow for the majority of the time. But the times, I find that the times that I do freak out, I go pretty like when I got pissed off last year because my dealership had like, they like were trying to look at something with my car, and I got my car back and it wouldn't start. Mm-hmm. And I was just on the phone like, dude, I dropped the car off. Like, how the fuck are you guys? How did you guys move it around? I left it in the front. Like, how did you guys move it to the back, to the front, work on it, and like now it doesn't work at all? Well, my battery was fucked. Yeah, it was just dead. So I was just like, how do you guys do that? What do you mean?
You're paying for this?
Yeah, and I was just like, for this? Yo, like, can you guys hook me up with the battery or something? The dude's just like, well, I can't help you out with that. That's just, we don't do that. And I was just kind of like, well, can you explain to me how the fuck my battery just like died like over a 2-day like time period when I've had it for like 3 years and it's never given me any problems? Like, what happened?
You gave me one with no juice.
Bro, I was so annoyed, and my brother, this is like the few times, like, my brother seen me get pissed off, but never like that. I mean, I was fucking enraged, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I'll get like that if someone almost hits me with their car, like walking. That's happened where I'm like walking down Washington,
and people are just speeding.
I was passing by right across the street from El Rey and that sushi place and Max's Wine Dive. And I was crossing the parking lot entrance, and this car just like turned right in front of me into the entrance of the parking lot. And like, just I had to stop walking, otherwise I would have ran right into him. And then I just like followed him up to his car, and I was just like, dude, you just almost hit me. He's like, no, I didn't. And then he hit a girl, and she came out the passenger side. I think they had been drinking, because she butts in the conversation, just like, didn't your mama tell you to look both ways? And I told her, I was like, that's when you cross the street. I was crossing the entrance to a parking lot. And then she just shut the fuck up. And then the guy just looked at me, I was like, bro, you need to not hit me or almost hit me. And then he was just like, the guy behind me was gonna hit me. I was like, man, you have the right of way. Like, he's not gonna hit you. Like, you're turning. Don't hit me. Like, I'm the pedestrian. I'm saying it very mellow right now, in a somewhat of a calm tone,
comedic. Yeah,
back then I was yelling at him, and it takes a lot to get that rise out of me, just because I'm used to handling adrenaline, and it's a very powerful feeling, and I just try to breathe and like boil down, like, what exactly am I angry at, and how am I trying to say this? And I don't want to, like, because my mind works really fast, and I swear that I have like some type of bipolar dyslexia, and to some degree, just because when I read and write or say stuff, it's not always in the order that it needs to be, and I need to take my time to get it right. And I know in grade school, the school tried to put me in like one of those classes, and my parents were like, no, there's nothing wrong with him, because I remember them telling me later, because this other kid at this grade school I went to got pulled out because they saw that he was dyslexic, and I was friends with him, and they're saying that I am too. And my dad is old school.
Wasn't having
it. No, he's not. And so I just see it of myself. Like, I'm not very administrative, as far as like, I used to work with this nonprofit, and we would write sponsorship packages and try to get money to try to fundraise to throw events and stuff with local artists. And I was so bad at keeping up with that, like on, the drive and on sheets and things of that nature, just because I'm just, that administrative mind is just not really there for me. Like, and it's kind of funny. It's tough being an artist, managing yourself, but I'm trying to make it work.
No, I feel you on that, bro. I'm glad you're in a field now where you can be creative, and you're not kind of like, I'm sure you have like, not deadlines per se, but like I have to like DJ this show on this date at this time. You know, time management more than like deadlines and shit like that.
The communication with the people, with the venue, the vendors that are booking you. You know, like, what do you have? What do you need me to bring? Like, what is my setup? Like, do I need a fucking extension cord? You know, like a lot of that stuff like seems, you know, not so obvious. But it is of like asking that shit, you know.
No,
like,
for sure.
There's a lot of stuff that gets missed, and it's like what will go wrong, or what can go wrong will go wrong.
And as you mentioned earlier, you're only as good as your prep.
Yeah, I mean, and they gotta prepare me with communication. But yeah, I don't know what got me on that tangent.
Oh, we're talking about like losing our shit. That we don't really lose our shit that often.
Yeah, because I will rarely lose shit on someone who books me. Regardless of, like, I've had people like checks bounce, right? And it's like I get charged money, and I'm just like, rather than be like, hey, you fucking pay me, like, I'm just like, let me know when you can, you know, like I will I'll get angry I'll use my anger at people I don't work with. And also in defense, man, I've had to break up some fights. Like, I could turn it on like that, like,
oh shit,
and just like diffuse shit just cause there ain't no sense in being aggressive, you know, in ways that, you know, I know people that have stories. I'm not gonna say anything, but it's just like they know that side of me. Like I can really turn it on.
Damn, and
dude. That's only in order to utilize that adrenaline and strength, just because I think it's important for people to have a strong emotional bandwidth and develop a capacity to handle that shit and like let it out here, let it out there. And as a performer, it's like I try to hone in a lot of stuff and then like let it out like when I'm playing, because it's like extra fuel in a way.
I completely agree with you. That show that I went to Saturday, it was just wild, bro, and I just lost myself.
What show was it?
It was a Turnstile show.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So they were going fucking hard, and like I went with my my roommate and his girlfriend Brittany and Fern, and we went, and I was like, as soon as they start playing, I'm gonna go fucking hard. And they came out, and I gave her my glasses, and I said, I'll see you guys when I see you. And I
know the glasses move,
bro.
I'll put them in my pocket or
that's so dangerous,
in my pouch.
Bro.
But I'll have my arms up, kind of like,
oh, okay,
like
okay.
I'm like blocking elbows because I'm short, dude. I'm like 5'4", 5'4.5", 5'5" with shoes on.
We're gonna go with 5'5", bro.
Yeah, because I think I'm more 5'3", but I think my brother's 5'3" and I'm 5'4". But anyway, in the mosh pit.
In the pit.
My head is the height of elbows and shoulders.
So
and that's not fun for me if those make contact with my face.
No.
So that's the
that wouldn't be very good, bro.
No. So I put my forearms up and put my elbows up and try to block.
That's funny you mentioned that, because I haven't been to too many. I haven't moshed in like a couple years. Well, and since like 2019.
I haven't moshed in forever, man.
Bro, I haven't. And I just went so hard, man. I really like just let all this shit out. Like any emotional, like any emotions that I had just like held in. I was yelling the lyrics at the top of my lungs, bro. I was grabbing people, like going fucking ham. In a safe way. I wasn't being a dick to anyone or anything like that. I just really was into the music and like let myself get loose.
The last time I did that was actually at the Studio Warehouse Live during a Maxo Cream show.
Oh,
he was
man.
a headliner and it was packed. I think it was maybe 2017 or 18. I don't know.
You know what's? I think his girlfriend probably went to that show. She had mentioned she saw Metro.
Fetty.
Oh my!
I can't go when I ain't ready.
I just love Houston. I just love Earth. Lean in my cup. Oh my god. I'm glad he's I'm glad he's getting the recognition because he's very, very good, bro. I love Maxo Cream. Yeah.
Oh yeah, super humble too. Cool. You know, it sucks that his brother died. So many people dying, man. Like, it's just, guns are not fun.
Takeoff totally
Yeah,
passed
and I don't
away.
even want to get into like all the, not the conspiracy, but just like the stories, like everything that I'm hearing, and it's just like, it's not cool. Like the ego shit, the flex shit, like
That's what it is, bro. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's all just like me versus you, you know, and that's very archaic and barbarian. Man. And it's like, bro, it's 2022.
Yeah.
Like, are we still acting how people act? Yeah, we are. It's just basic. It's
humans.
It's human
humanity.
shit. Yeah. I'm answering my own questions. But yes.
It is just.
I'm all for Second Amendment, right?
Yeah.
But like, regulate shit is stuff that it's just like America is excess. We have so much of everything.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, so it's tough for people to balance everything when there's so much of everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a whole nother.
I have a lot of friends.
I feel like that's an interview for Psychology Today.
I have a lot of friends who
Democracy Now!
Are really into, like, they always mention it, bro, that like, well, I got my strap on me, you know what I'm saying? Like, if shit pops off, like, I'm just like, why are you going there? Why is that your first instinct to, like, in a road rage, like, they want to, you know, start some shit? I got my, I'm like, dude, that shouldn't be your first go-to, is to be like, I'm gonna grab my gun and murder someone. Like, why is that the first thing in your fucking head to do? Other than, like, let me get around them, let me exit, let me, like, you know, there's so many other options.
That's a great question. I don't know, man. Aside from, like, in terms of the psychology of being a driver of a motor vehicle, right? Like, in essence, it's a machine. It's a fucking 3,000-pound machine that we barely know the functionality and, like, innards of, but we use it every day, right? There's only so many mechanics. And then the approach that people have to driving, right? Is it like, yo, we're all trying to get somewhere. There might be a 70-year-old woman in front of me, and that's the person who's hitting their brakes for no reason. You know, like, there's really anything
so that many can variables.
Drive you. Yeah. And so another thing I've learned.
You're dropping knobs today, brother.
If you let, external happenings drive your emotions, then, like, the outside world is controlling you. And so if you can't hone in and just be like, yo, I don't need to be angry at this dude who just fucking cut me off, because maybe that's what they want. They, like, a lot of people want to fight, right? They just want to fight.
That's
wherever you are, whether
shit,
you're in your car and I'm in my car, or we're at the bar, or we're at a fucking venue, we're at a birthday party. Like, some people just want to fight.
Yes.
They want to go toe to toe verbally and just have an argument because they're saying some shit, or they actually want to hit something or be hit. And it is worse when you're on the road, because your car's kind of protection, but it's really not. It's a weapon, and people don't realize that it's a weapon. Like, that when you hit a pedestrian, like, you can get charged with, like, assault with a deadly weapon.
Oh,
like,
for sure. Yeah.
So it's just, like, perspective, right? I would rather cause harm to you for the little inconvenience you placed on me, and that's not eye for an eye. That's like eye for a pond, right? Like, you did something small to me, so I'm going to one up you, right?
It's just ego shit, man.
Sure.
And humans are very into, and this is throughout history, they're very in. We are, I should say we, not they, because we're also in the bucket.
Oh, you're human.
We're really into, like, pushing that boundary to see how far we can take it, whether it be like prodding somebody with, like you said, talking shit, or just, like, physically.
Some people want to push your buttons, and then there's some people that just want to leave you alone, and then there's other people that don't want anything from you. Like, they don't even want to talk to you. And then there's others that, they'll approach you, they'll say hi, they'll get to know you. It's just I think the nature of what it means to be human can vary. It fluxes, right? Yeah. So for it's sure. Like, there's so many things that someone can experience in their life in any given day to remind them that they're still human. And there are, plenty of people that don't feel like they're human and don't feel like, there's 8 billion people in this world. It's just like, it's my road. You know, did you see me? Did you see me driving on that road in that car? Did I post about it? Did you see it? Did you see it? Because if you saw it, then you know I'm out here.
You know I'm living.
Like, yeah, like you have to know
You've
that
acknowledged me.
Yeah, it's like you have to know that I'm doing it in order for me to be doing it, right? And there's some people that are like that.
I was gonna bring that up earlier. Do you take breaks at all from social media?
I think I'm on it like an hour a day, maybe 2 hours a day. Like that's my average when I look at my thing. And that's mostly just like I'm posting and I'm like tagging stuff, or I'm
promoting.
Or I'm sharing other people's stuff. I'm looking for DJs, I'm looking for artists. Like I use it for everything. For me with Instagram is work.
I feel you on that. Yeah, I
rarely
definitely feel
is
you
it
on
personal.
That. Yeah.
I will get personal, but not publicly, not often.
Mm-hmm.
The Iran thing is one of the few things I've done personally in terms of sharing stuff on Instagram.
And I noticed that because I was like, this is not typical GoodFat content. You know what I mean?
No.
It wasn't typical content at all. That's why I wanted to ask you about it, because I was just like, wow, I didn't see that coming at all, to be honest.
Yeah, I had a lot of people messaging me, and
I appreciate you putting it out there, man. Honestly, I appreciate you because, like I said, I'm very uneducated when it comes to like issues on that side of the world.
And I'm only so educated, so I'm not trying to talk like I know everything. But it's helpful, you know, for me to be in the position that I am in terms of my family lineage, my familial lineage. If I'm speaking correctly, but yeah, I just think, you know, life's about perspective, right? Like the more you know.
Absolutely.
And so there's a lot of things that happen throughout Iran's history that would benefit people's perspective, in my opinion.
That's what's up, man. Well, shit, dude, we've been going on for almost an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's felt like that. Counting every minute.
It feels like this is a good
3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
It feels like this is a good point to stop. You had mentioned the show earlier. Where could people get tickets to that? Would it be in your bio? Would it be kind of pull up kind of thing? That's a great
question. Man, we should sell tickets. We don't have a link yet.
Oh, no?
So just go to MUFASA's Instagram at MUFASA _ENZOR. MUFASA Enzor is posted about it. He made a badass flyer. At also Pajama Sam's Instagram at OG_PAJAMASAM. And me, I am at DJJOODFAT GoodFat. I will be posting about it because I am gonna get a little bit personal this upcoming weekend, post and share to people of like, hey y'all, like, I know you know me as a DJ, but like I also do this thing and have been doing this for a minute, and I want to share that with you. So here's the flyers and such. But yeah, next Friday, Outlaw Apparel, 1617 Westheimer. I think Diptero will post about it too. I'm sure each one of those dudes will. I'm sorry, I don't know their Instagrams.
I'll tag them all. Yeah, in the link to the description and the podcast. In that description box, it will have all the tags he mentioned, as well as the Diptera, Nikki, Max, Mufasa, Ian. Yeah. I'll tag those guys as well. Those will all be in the description box.
Ian is like his name. And then
Ian
Nicky's is his name. Yeah, and then Max is like Maximilian or something.
Everything of Nicky's.
Manazoid, Maxazoid.
Humazoid, yeah. Something like that, yeah. Ever since I knew Nicky, bro, he's very unique in that, like, his, I don't want to give his shit out there, but like a lot of his tags are, or a lot of his like ads are just his name. And I'm just like, bro, you're so lucky. Like, I have to put like Cesar Perez fucking 15 or 75. You know what I mean? It could never just be like my just plain name.
Yeah.
My fucking foot fell asleep, bro. Holy shit.
Yeah, that happens.
Dude, it's like real numb. But we'll go ahead and end things here. I appreciate you coming by, man. Thank you a lot.
I want to tell people I have mixes on SoundCloud too.
Go ahead, brother.
And to
plug whatever you want to plug. Yeah.
Look out for more of those. Oh yeah, well you can catch me every week Wednesday night at the Flat.
At the Flat.
It's a reggae night. I do reggae night with 2 other DJs. One of them is from Jamaica. His name is Flabba Dabba. DJ Flabba Dabba is fucking incredible.
That's an awesome
and
name.
The other guy is DJ Vibes. Vibes like VYBZ. DJ Vibes is also incredible. So they've taken me under their wing, and I've learned so much from them. But they'll tell you they learned from me too. And we make the joke that we're all island boys, and they're from islands, and I'm from Galveston.
Hey, it's an
island.
It's an island.
Anyway, there you can find Vibes starting off the night playing reggae and into dancehall towards 11:30, and then we play some Afrobeat, play some amapiano, some soca, reggaeton, dembo, salsa, like. Really fun stuff, like fun dance music that we all, love to play. So that's every Wednesday night. It's been getting better and better.
I'm stop by.
Grateful to be there. I've been doing it since last August, so almost a year and a half. I think we brought on Flabba in November last year and brought on Vibes in October last year. I used to be doing a DJ Sun, which was like me and him. So it was very intimidating.
When you mentioned Malcolm's name earlier, that's what I thought of the Flat. Every time you mentioned Malcolm Bravo, I think of the Flat, to be honest with you.
When I first started working at the Flat, I tried to meet all the DJs, and Malcolm, Morgan, Mark, like they're some of the coolest and like initial ones to talk to me and say hello and stuff. And then I met Felix and Hype Electro, the Tuesday guy, and now MLE. DJs there on Mondays. They have the play date, so she's there. She's great. But yeah, I met. I think Malcolm and Mark would come on Wednesdays, and they bring Frank. Yeah, Frank comes too.
Yeah.
So they're there every now and then. But yeah, I used to before I had a Saturday night residency at Idle Hands for like all of this year. But before that, I would go to the Flat on Saturday nights and just like chill, just dance, drink, and vibe, get to know
have
people.
A good time.
But yeah, that's every Wednesday, and then I'm gonna be at Idle Hands next week, the 26th. So the day after the rap show, I'll do a DJ show.
Ooh.
And then I'm gonna be at Julep on New Year's Eve, which is gonna be tight.
Oh shit.
Everything else in between, I'll just post about, which won't be long.
It won't be long, yeah. I mean, we're coming on December in a couple weeks.
Yep. But I'm really excited about next Friday, actually.
Oh, man, absolutely. I'm definitely going to go and take plenty of photos of you guys. That sounds like a really, really good time. Well, shit, guys. That's been this week's episode of A Thinking Boy Podcast. I've been your host, Cesar Perez, with...
Niku, a.k.a. DJ GoodFat.
Until next time. Peace.
Thank you, man.
Fuck yeah, dude. Stop this.
Be fine. How do you say this?